Welcome back. We've switched sides. I don't know what happened to my hair. You said I had good hair, and then look what happened.
Yeah, it's gone wrong, but it still looks good.
I blame it on the headset.
That's what we'll do. Mine
'Kay.
still looks great. So
Oh, yeah. It does. It does. Wow. Look at
don't ever touch it.
All right, so game 2 of the night. Game 2 of our 4 games that we'll have in this NA qualifier. Overall, it's Method going up against... Who are they going up against again?
DOISE.
DOISE, yeah. I can never say it. DOISE.
I think I'm saying it right.
I think you probably are. I think it's
Yeah.
DOISE, like the Spanish word
Yeah, that's famous Spanish word.
that everyone knows. All right. We need to stop it. No, it's going to be game 2. It could be very similar in the end to what we just saw in the first game, with 3-Sup being quite dominant against American Misfits. This could be a similar situation. Obviously, Method, another team with a ton of experience. Silent going to be coming into this one. Strong player to watch.
Mm-hmm.
He was already watching the first game, I know, because he was tweeting me about my affinity mistakes.
That's
So,
right. Okay.
so no, I mean, they're definitely been waiting to get this going, and actually, we're going to start a little bit early just on how fast that last best of 3 finished up. So I mean, it's another one of those situations though where for DOISE, it could be a little bit of a tough game.
I think so as well. From what I've read online, again, I can only do so much research going into this. When you have teams that are kind of anomalies, we don't know too much about them. They could be underdogs. It could have a little flash in the pan, have some exciting rounds, but everyone's predicting Method to win this. If DOISE do come back and even get a map, it'll be a massive upset, right? So kind of exciting times when we can see the Method lineup here. I'll let you go through this one, as obviously I don't really know these guys too well.
Right, so Silent, typically speaking, on paper, would be the guy you look to be the top player, but throughout the season, they've had really good performances from Streber, Roberts. I think we'll stick with Streber. That's what Moses and I went with. Mm-hmm. It's up to you. Roberts could be easier, but Streber, as he's become known, definitely a solid player. Late in rounds, able to pick up multiple kills in certain situations. Mainline's another player that's been up and down throughout the ranks of ASCA over the last couple seasons. I think he was as low as main in season 13, and then he stuck around that Premier Division ever since the inception of it around season 16. So, and then, of course, Justin, fairly decent player, but Ely for me is another guy that's sort of the wild card factor to this team. Can have a really, really solid performance and then can be completely asleep at other times. Whenever we had the option to cast them throughout the year, that was kind of the case we had. And then, of course, for DOISE, I mean, Best Moose has the best name, Best Moose Canada, but the rest of them, Zero, Haku, Teddy, and I don't even know how you say this one.
Lazkataz. Yeah, we'll go with that. You can say that one.
Lazkataz. I was just looking at it backwards in case there was some sort of phonetic, because it would just throw me off like everyone that spells their name backwards. But no. And you were saying online, when you read, he was sort of the player to watch for them. Yeah,
I can only go on what I'm saying on forums, but a lot of people are saying he could step up for them, but how much can we take away from that? It's just forum speculations, but I guess that's what I've read up on. The little bit of a wild card perhaps for them, but as we said before, Method should make this one pretty simple for them. Depending, do you know anything about the map pool for Method? Do you know whether they can...
In terms of what strong individual maps for them?
Well, how deep are their map pool? Do we know? Have we seen a lot of them? Do we know they've got very specific maps they play? Do they have a wide range?
They're fairly wide right now, because the problem in North American leagues when you're online is you're not playing a veto game. You're not playing a lot of vetoes. So when you're in like the SCA, you have a map of the week. You're going to play every map throughout the season. Mm-hmm. Sure, you can look into that and look at results and say, and I'm sure if you ask them, they'd tell you what maps they're not good on. Yeah. So there's definitely a stronger map, but it's not like that. It's a pool that's not deep. They have to play everything, including terrain now, as well as Civo, same type of thing, which they're going into the best of 2 system, though, so things are switching there a little bit. Be interesting to see if ASCA will bring in the best of 3, but here is the actual map pool, and Method had first ban. They took out Dust 2. I'm a little bit surprised to see that they went toward... Now, Train going out by DOISE is not surprising at all. This is a lower tier team who's going to stick to what they know. They don't want to chance it on a map that hasn't been played as commonly, so that's not surprising. Overpass, I'm a little bit surprised. I would have thought Inferno would have came out actually from Method, because when we have seen them on that this year, they've been... Even if they didn't win the game, they were extremely close, and at least in it with decent rounds. But now it's going to Inferno for DOISE. So in some respects, it could actually turn out all right for Method in the fact that they still get to play it. And Mirage third if needed. Cobble again. I want to see some Cobble. Cobble last year in this particular league was awesome.
Well, there we go. We saw Overpass in the game before. It's one of those maps we discussed. As the CTs, you have to apply pressure, work out positioning of the Ts, and then play into it. Going into it, it means Method will be starting on the weaker side again. They'll be on the T side, so allowing DOISE to get some control on the CT side. A good start for them potentially. I guess it's going to come down to whether they're actually on the same sort of level. If we saw a 5-0 going before, it was a complete travesty. It just went horribly wrong. It seemed like 3-7 were just almost having fun towards the end of it. I'd like to see this be a lot slightly more competitive. I want to see it not go into like a 10-0 zone.
Well, the same thing that we had last time is that the favorite team is going to be starting out on the terrorist side on this map, because again it is the favorite team's choice. Last time it was 3-sup, they started terrorist. They still ended up taking that half. I think it was 13-3. Yeah, or 13-3 doesn't make sense. 12-3, excuse me. But DOISE, I mean, they could start CT, and like you say, if they can get things rolling, for example, if they get the pistol, which unfortunately American Misfits failed to do in both of the previous maps, if they can get that pistol, then 3 rounds to start things off, like you say, and get things into a better situation early.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the other thing that we saw from American Misfits is a heavy reliance on a dual op setup, which means that they're already behind economically and they're putting a large investment into every single round.
As soon as you do that, though, right, it's the B bomb side becomes very weak at that stage, especially if you play the AWP quite close up like they did. He was going down facing Monster Tunnel. He wouldn't see anything, and it allowed them to kind of set up their T execution. Then he'd have to fall back to the barrels. The execution came in and be in a horrible position at that stage, so it didn't really work out too well for them in that regard. But I think that a single AWP setup for CT is generally considered to be the best on this. The dual AWP, it works on a lot of maps. Yeah, Dust 2, for example, it works perfectly. It allows you to have synergy across the map and have a little fragging unit. But I think on the B bomb side especially, you're better off having the rifle crossfire set up and then bringing the AWP over every now and then just to mix things up. Having an AWP locked down there as a turret doesn't really work too well.
I think you need to go to the double op when it's needed. You shouldn't jump to it head and throw away economy. If you're behind and you want to take a risk, I mean, obviously we're calling them out for going to that buy in the last particular game, but you got to remember American Misfits picked up 2 rounds in a row when they actually ran that system. It's just that they never were able to get it out often enough. But I agree with you. Unless you get that really quick pick at B inside Monster, if they smoke execute, exactly. If they smoke execute, even on top, they get through Monster with flashes. They smoke on top of the site. Even if you're at window, you're not going to hit it as easily. So B, you're right. It's a bit of a chance play.
So the pistol round does start. We can see method there. They're going to go the standard meta, as it were, right now. 4 players on Glock armor, 1 guy on utility, 1 smoke and 2 flashbangs here. You can see they've got 4 players heading towards the middle area as well. 1 person lurking. That's pretty standard stuff as well. It seems like they'll be going very aggressive here as well. 1 CT waiting for them. Be interesting to see how he can hold this one off. He's actually falling back into a more passive position. I think this is a good call. They've worked out they haven't got the advantage yet. This frag is going to be coming in any second, and we can see there they take him down, and all of a sudden the A bomb side looks very vulnerable for the CTs. Zero's
also fallen on the front of bathrooms. He was pushed up initially, so in correspondence to what his teammate was doing, he took the same approach, but he's also going to go down in a similar way as Silent able to find that kill. But Gavin, look at the response. So DOISE able to pick up 2. It's Teddy that drops next. Justin's going to come back. There's a double from him as well. And Hakabai's going to go down as well. Haven's not done. 3 now in the round as Ely's going to find him, and eventually bomb was dropped. Doesn't matter. They never get the plant, so they won't get the additional money into the round, but it doesn't matter because they pick it up. It's going to go 1-0. And actually, we're already seeing a bit of force on the pistols and armor from the CTs.
There's an interesting setup from the CTs there. Like, they were so spread thin. By the time they'd spotted the Ts, they were too overcommitted. The player along there, he had no chance of even falling back. Got himself in a horrible duel, and that was pretty bad news for him. But we can see the CTs now going for 4.57 of P250, have forced up with armor as well.
Push. It's the TSM push. They want to try and catch them off guard. So mainline's going to shut that down. They actually lobbed a nade in early as well that did a pretty hefty amount of damage. Lakataz going to go even lower. He's down to 2, eventually silenced by Silent. And SMG to close it out flawless. That's actually a really good play and good heads-up play by them to be ready for that push because it's very common to get caught off guard as soon as you hit the fountain.
Yeah, well, they did a semi-force there. They kept Gavin, who I'm going to assume is the AWP player for them. He's still got 4K in the bank. He'll still be able to get the AWP in the first gun round. You can see them actually doing a full save now. Gavin is the player actually not buying anything at all. Interesting enough, he's the only guy with actually kills on their team as well. He has 3 in the bag for himself.
Ely's AFK.
Oh, interesting. That's just what you want, isn't it, when you're going into a pretty crucial round. But you can see the T's actually keeping a full SMG setup as well. 3 MAC-10s, 2 MP7s. They all just want to be sticking together, making things very fast, getting into areas with 1 flashbang, just trying to go kill for kill, and working out how they can enter the bomb sites quickly.
I'm actually starting to think this might be a disconnect.
Oh, really?
Because he's still sitting in spawn. So I haven't seen a ping skyrocket. They actually brought up the scoreboard as we saw, and everyone was stabilized, but he could have already been gone at that point. The server just hasn't updated it. So Strebber going to look at long. 5-7. Trying to use it at range because the SMG not as effective from that position.
It seems like they're just trying to waste time potentially here, just trying to see where their player is going to come back, but you can see them.
3-man turtle, though, so this still has a chance. And actually, Lakataz did put a bullet in Silent. That did a good amount of damage. And yeah, there's the drop. So Ely did go. He's gone. Method. Good response, though, from Silent. Throwing that nade over Lakataz was on 12, so it did find him. Brings it back to the 4-on-4, but the HP now.
This is actually really good for Method. After getting that first frag on the A bomb site, they've rotated and utilized the map rotations perfectly. Going into the B bomb site now, they should have next to no contention whatsoever. Gavin's going to be the only man there. He's been the danger man for them so far. Oh, he fluffs his lines a little bit there. Doesn't stop the bomb going down. They've spotted where he is, and this should be a pretty simple round for Method. Even though they go into this one 4-on-5, it's going to be a 4-on-2 situation now. CT's rotating in, taken down. And that's a pretty nicely done from Method, actually. Like I said, they went onto the A bomb site, worked out where the CTs were, saw a few men there, got the first kill, and played the map perfectly, went through the stairs area, got on the B very fast, and there was only one man waiting for them. They made light work of him. But this is where it gets interesting now. This is the first gun round. They kept 4 SMGs. Be interesting to see whether they actually decide to keep those. You can see the matches pause there.
Yeah, it's for Ely to get back in.
You can obviously, you can justify going 5 SMGs, potentially doing a full-on rush, trying to see what's going on, but mainline will pick up an AK-47 here, but they will be keeping 4 SMGs as well. That's, I guess, it's one of those Hail Mary plays, right? You just want to see whether you can test the map out, go for a full-on rush here, maybe a full execute, allow the SMGs to run into the bomb site straight away and see what happens, but this is where it gets interesting for Method, and DOISE need to work out how they're going to approach the in tactical terms. Are they going to push and go aggressively? You can see Zero has got the AWP there. Will he be trying to get the first pick and get the information? As soon as they work out the T's have that SMG set up, they know they can just fall back and be very defensive at that point. So that's why I'm saying a very fast execution is required from Method in this sort of situation. But here we go then. It seems like all players are back onto the server, and we enter round number 4. This could be the first gun round we see so far. And yeah, as I've kind of thought, all the T's heading over towards the B bomb site. Whether they'll do a full execution or just go straight in is yet to be seen, but let's see how this one pans out.
A lot of flashes over, but that doesn't look like there's going to be much smokes out late if they are, and it's Gavin already lining up. Teddy's found the first, so DOISE is going to pick up Justin early on. The main line comes back, doubling in. That allows the entry. Late smoke to cover off the retake from the stairwell.
They've got to work out now. This is almost unwinnable for the CTs. They know the SMGs are there, but once you get the bomb down in this sort of situation, as I say that though, they actually get a frag that comes back into it, does neutralize things now, but they've actually got no kits to play with. This is going to be very difficult to even consider retaking the bomb.
Nice shot. Zero through the edge of the boards. Does find exactly where Strepper's waiting on the site. Didn't find a way into safety. Zero's going to lurk forward, make sure everything under window's closed. That allows his teammates to push up Catwalk a lot more safe and efficiently. Mainline doubling up that smoke, though, still in a good spot. They line it up. He's going to manage to take down 2. Haku and Lakataz both gone. He spots up Zero. Hat trick for him. It's going to be an ace as well. 2 on the entry and 3 to close the round.
Really interesting the fact they had 1 AK in that round, and he's the one that actually gets all the kills as well. Pretty cool stuff from him. As I said before, when the team had no kits there and the retake was on the cards, I would have actually just taken a step back and said, this probably isn't worth it. We can't win this one without a defuse guy on the team. We have to kill 3 terrorists first and then find a defuse. And now they could have gone into this round with 3 guns and AWP especially. So they may be kicking themselves a little bit there. A bad decision in my opinion, but there we go. Then they go into this one with 5 P250s. Trying to, not so aggressive this time. They are gaining some control in the bathrooms area. Pushed off short as well into B, but Terror is playing this very smart, sticking to where it works, keeping it long range, staying together and seeing where the kills can be found. Interesting enough, they send in the AWPer into the bathroom area first. Unorthodox, but it's worked out for them. But the CT's now just trying to find a kill. That's going to be the best situation for them. They can get a couple of frags on the board, knock the economy of the T's down a little bit going into the 5th one. See there, picking up a kill. That's going to be the start of the end for DOISE, I think. This is going to a 5-0 territory, and this is exactly what we talked about. This is a momentum we didn't want to see Method get. We wanted to see DOISE have a chance to get into the series.
So Gavin looks for salvation, finds Ely, but that's all he finds, and that's going to leave 4 up. Low HP on 3 of them. There was Silent was down to, I think, around just under 20. The rest were in the mid-30s. Mainline was untouched, but potential there for more from that P250, and he found the right people at the right time. And the op's going to come out from Silent. It's going to go up against Zero, who's got armor. So it's not completely naked, but he doesn't have any utilities. He's just got the 1 decoy grenade. Everyone else fully equipped.
You can see that Zero, though, going a lot more aggressive. They've got players going in the stairs area as well. They know they need to get that first pick. They want to get the confidence and bring the round to themselves. So you can see now getting some control of the key areas of the map. T's playing a little bit of a slower game here. You can see them getting up towards short, though. Smoke will be choking them out, but there's nice boost coming from Silent Hill. He'll be trying to find a man, and I think he's going to get it. He's got a great position right now. The C's don't seem to be suspecting this whatsoever.
It's to be wary of the window when you're up that high, but fortunately for him, no one there. It's Gavin and that nade, that flashbang. The trajectory of it should indicate exactly where Gavin was playing, but Gavin has relocated. Silent looked toward the ramp twice, third time's a charm, but not able to hit the shot, so he had it predicted. Another missed throw nade. Silent stares it down because take less damage, but 39 left as a result, and therefore Gavin will take Silent. He'll win that exchange with a little bit of help in his favor as he sits on top of the site, but he still has 2 coming in. It's Teddy coming down the catwalk. He gets caught off by mainline, so a 6th kill in 2 rounds from him. And Ely to follow that up, taking down the low HP Gavin, but not before Zero could bring at least 1 kill back in the favor of the CTs, who remain down 1 single man right now. And Ely's pushing forward to allow this bomb to get in position. It's still not being planted. It may not matter, though. Streber, he finds 1, not going to pick up Zero, already on low HP, manages to use that op to good effect. And now he's got the awkward situation of deciding in a 2-on-1 if he wants to look a little bit for more. Because even getting too cheeky there and overstanding himself might have cost himself the op, so he's going to run it safe.
So the CTs had the right approach here. They pushed the main areas of the map, and they got some control of middle and the stairs area. But unfortunately for them, Methodist went towards B. They got up at that door area. We saw the boots come off the sandbags. They got some great intel from that. We worked out how many CTs were there. And it was just a very simple B execute from that point. They got the first frag onto the map and then worked in for the wall of smokes. And then they didn't even have to plant the bomb, like you said. The kills were just coming to them. CTs tried to push behind them and get the pincer going for them, but they had players waiting in the flanks as well. Very simple day at the office of Method there. It didn't really seem like they were too far gone with their push onto the B bomb site. And that's going to be a thing we see throughout the series, I think. The B execution is very strong for them. It's working, so why not keep doing it? Now we see the force buy from DOISE. They know they need to get into this. They need to find a round. They saved the AWP from last time. They pushed middle with it last time, and it didn't seem to amount to too much, but this time Zero opts to go towards the long area. This is where we see Guardian playing from normally. He makes it work from so well, but interesting enough, they're actually sacrificing 2 players towards this. Instead of him just boosting straight up on the flower bed, he's taking 2 players there, and maybe he's going to flash them in and try and utilize his teammate a little bit more.
Silent spots the boost. Whiffs on both, though, so not able to hit the initial or the slide peek. All the while, though, mainline's been able to push up. He's going to flash himself inside the connector. No one immediately there to catch that. But they do have company. It's not completely vacant because Haku was pushed up in the hallway. Justin finding him, and Zero scoped in, but not quick enough. Silent, third's a charm this time. He will find his kill he was looking for. Lakataz getting back into at least 1 player. That's Trevor to go down, so it leaves 4 terrorists as opposed to 5, and that gives Teddy a bit more chance and a bit more possibility, but not a lot of if that shot from the AK will catch him in the face.
Yeah, so these 4 spies aren't really working out too well for them. They boosted Zero up there, like I said. They sacrificed enough amount to give him a little bit of an edge on the angle. It's not so predictable, but both players missing their shots there allowed them the T's to push up a little bit more. Got the crossfire set up, and he faced again. Players getting taken down left, right, and center there. You can see the kills coming in. And right now, it's just a picking game. They're either doing a set piece, execute onto B bomb site, or they're working together on the long area and just getting kill for kill. And they just seem to be out-fragging DOISE at every single opportunity there is. Another force buy now for DOISE. I'm not sure I'd recommend this one too much. It seems like, let's have a quick look at their money now. You can see they've actually gone pretty much all in this. Gavin and Hakubai have got a little bit of cash to spare, but this is going to be a difficult round again for DOISE to get into. The fast round coming into long, you see 3 players going up there. It's worked very well for them so far.
And that gives Zero a bit more space to push forward, though, because they've given up on that long. And Haku going down without putting up much of a fight against mainline. Lakataz does get back in, but we're still watching Zero because he's still lurking and could potentially be problematic. Not if Justin can do that.
Now Teddy with the mountain to climb. He's one man left. Pushing behind. He has got an advantageous position. I don't think they know he's there, but it's going to be difficult for him to actually do anything with this. He hasn't got a kit. He's got a smoke grenade. He's going to be walking up. He's going to get discovered now, and he'll get taken down pretty easily by Silent. And this is difficult now. They're trying everything. They're pushing up middle. They're trying to get the first frags, but it's a little bit too predictable. They're getting shut down. I think the best thing they can do at this point is instead of having the AWP towards long, they sacrifice 2 rifles to go up long, getting very close up in their faces, not letting them get that contention up there and getting to the bathroom area before there's a frag. They need to get right up by the rocks, start cross-firing, maybe doing some early flashes and surprising the T's a little bit more. Is that right now it's a little bit too predictable, and it seems they're going to fall back onto their B execute. And this will probably work perfectly. They know they've got the favor in the economy here, and they're destroying them at every single place. Silent going up very fast here. That smoke will go down again, but we've seen him kind of counter this before.
Teddy gets aggressive on it. 2 players pushed into the corner of the sandbags. Not able to spot up either of them just yet. So Silent just waiting, because that smoke will hinder the push. They're also going to just spam away through the tin walls at the bottom of the stairwell. Make sure they won't get flanked out on this either, because there's a chance with this much time. And map control given completely open at A.
Yeah, look
but
at
as
this
I say
setup.
that, it's a stack. They've read this. They've already pulled them all over, and this needs to be so careful right now from Method, because if they can find this, if they can read this with one lurk, which they're not going to do, they could go back to B. Instead, they're going to walk all the way in, so there's a chance. We'll see if it pays off. Method getting the initial entry, but now the response comes in, and what can DOISE really do? It's going to be double picked up so far. Bomb's gone down. That's from Ely, who also turns his attentions to the flank, but Lakataz winning that duel. And look at the HP now as well, because Method have only 45 to work with going against essentially 2 full players. Only 2 HP lost on 0, but there it is. Well played by Justin to fall back out after Silent distracts on the initial kill.
So when you stack your whole team towards a B bomb site, you still can't hold off an execution. You've got to ask yourself, what is going on here? I think a pause, maybe a little bit too late right now. It's coming in, but did you see that? They actually put 4 players inside that bomb site, 1 lurking as well.
The issue is they're all in there, but look at the positioning of them.
There's no synergy, right?
Right. Well, and one smoke put them all on the back side of the bomb site. So as soon as they came in, they get the plant down. I mean, once the plant goes down, it doesn't matter if you're stacked. You're essentially playing a retake game regardless. Yes, they're in the site. The post plants aren't as good, but they shouldn't have even got that far.
But then they're on the back foot, right? Because they haven't got that control of the bomb site. They're having to run through the smoke to even get a kill back. And they did get a couple of exchanges, but when you're left in the 2 versus 1, it's very difficult to even get back into the bomb site. I think if they were going to stack that many people there, they needed to get control of the construction area, push through completely, take the chance, and try and get not allowing the T's to get such great positioning before it's too late. But yeah, this is another round on the board from Effort. They take 9-0 now. Yet another force buy for DOISE. You can see the scouts coming out. A 5-7 Famises. It really is a horrible situation for them. I'm not really sure what they can do to get back into this. If the 5-man
by the way, I'm liking that nade stack when they come around that corner, just to make sure they're not going to get pushed out like we saw in the first round when they had pistols.
Well, let's see how it goes down now. This is what Method have been doing pretty much this whole series, pushing up the long area, getting into bathrooms, making the kill work for them every single time. DOISE do answer back though. Ely goes down. 4-on-4 situation now. But again, Teddy is the only man of a kit. They cannot allow this bomb to go down. They need to play a little bit more passively now. They've got information as to what the T's are doing. They have no calls though whether it can be a rotation. If Method play this properly, they just do the smokes onto A, pull all the CTs over there, and they go back to B. That's going to be amazing for them right now. We can see that the bomb is going to be working up long. CTs again. They are very aware of what's going on. We can see one of the CTs actually pushing in the back. That's going to be Teddy. He's actually right behind them as well. This is a really good round for DOISE to get back into now. But the frags are just not going in their way.
Teddy, There's Teddy, as you called. So that pulls the bomb back up out of place. So Teddy has a real chance here. They haven't actually done much about him, but he's the only one that's alive still. As Justin with 8, and they're going to actually take this right through the backside of A, all the way down the stairs and onto B. Teddy's read it, but the rotation for him considerably longer. So as this bomb is going to get down on B, the tides suddenly turn. Initially, he prevented the plant. Now he's got to retake a site with just himself to do it. Justin's going to back himself into the corner, though, and that's exactly where he's coming from. They should have been prepared for that.
Absolutely.
They knew he was in the bathroom, so the fact that they don't read that play gets a little bit confusing. As it now comes down to the one-on-one. That smoke bounces the wrong direction, though, so Teddy's not going to be covered and easily exposed to Strebber to finish out the round. 10 still, nothing for DOISE.
Again, another good read from the CTs. They stacked the bomb site. Teddy was pushing up the stairs. They had the pincer move, but the frags just went horribly wrong. As soon as the execution came onto the bomb site, they're not making enough kills to make these rounds come in their favor. Quite good plays. They're reading the game well. Teddy coming in the back, stopping the bomb being planted. That was good stuff from him as well. But all these force buys is just dragging them through the dirt right now. You can see they've got P250s, some body armor. I'm not really sure what they're hoping is going to come of this, but a simple B-rush should shut it down pretty easily. We can see Justin takes down Gavin. One bullet straight to the dome is going to take him down. Teddy does answer back. Bomb will be going down now, and this is a foregone conclusion for Method. They take a 4-on-2 situation. Zero is going to be last 2 of the 2 remaining CTs now, but this should be pretty trivial going into this one. We have 1 man remaining for the CTs. And yeah, another very successful round for Method. This is the great position they can get into now. They can just play off their standard or B-rush or do an execute. And it's very difficult for the CTs to predict. They're trying to react to what happened last round. But when their economy is so bad, they have nothing to play with and they're not making the frag. So this is the first time in a long time they actually have a full buy going into this. Zero picking up the AWP. And I can't even work out where's going to be the best place for him to go with this right now. He needs to be surprising them. I think him pushing down the stairs with the AWP, that's going to be enough to be a good surprise, and he could actually do something with that. They need to find this first frag and then fall back into the position. So far, they're getting locked down on the bomb site every single time. But we have another pause here going into this. Is this
This is a pause with apparently AT&T boys, says Lakataz.
Okay.
So it's going to have to be a bit of an issue here for one of the individual players. I'm not sure if it's Lakataz or if he's speaking on behalf of his teammate. I assume where Gavin hasn't bought yet, there's a chance that it could be him. Teddy's going to unpause it, though, so we'll get back underway for DOISE. And again, things not in their favor. They bring the op back out on 0. I'll be curious to see if this pays off and how they choose to play it, because we've seen, again, that they've been stacking up bomb sites early, but I want to see more presence out toward A. We haven't seen that bathroom push at all. The first round, the pistol, they had one on either side, but they fell immediately. In sequence, it was the right call if one's going to go to let the other go with them, but turtling up and with no rotations coming in, it just left 2 players to try and hold a passive site.
Well, here we go. Your boy Zero is actually be taking the AWP towards the Wander's tunnel. He wants to get that first fast frag. If he doesn't get it, though, for me, he needs to fall back here. He can't hold us for too long. I think he needs to leave the guys there and he needs to fall back and make himself useful. Hakubai
in the corner with Lakataz to try and flash himself out, and they peek one at a time. They could have gone together on that play with the initial flash, and instead the first peeks loses HP, and then Haku decides, oh, I suppose that's my cue, and unfortunately, they both pay the price in the end. Teddy's going to get at least 1 kill back, but it's another really fast train of players coming toward this A site. There's still a chance for DOISE. They've got 3 players up. Teddy's a little bit late on this rotation, though, so Silent's going to jump on top of the default box. Spam 0 back down the stairs. Is that op not able to get in position? Oh, little does he know. Silent staring directly at him, but the smoke's in his way. Now he spots them on the way through. First shot, good. Gavin going to take down Silent as well. Bomb's already ticking, so Teddy's got to find first. When he does, it's actually Strebber to go down. He's got 9 HP. Gavin's still up as well, as Justin just has to delay this a little bit longer. First kill goes his way. There's a kid on Gavin. Smoke out in front, and he's going to try and get on it, but Justin's timed it perfectly.
It's just the fundamentals of the bomb side defenses, as you pointed out long. There's no crossfire there. They're not working together. As soon as one man goes down, the fade should be coming, and even if you're not going to work the crossfire, at least get the frag afterwards. Like, you revenge your teammate. It's very difficult to watch right now. That was actually the best chance they've had, a 2-on-1 situation with the bomb down. But again, it just seems like they got completely outplayed. They weren't covering each other. Maybe they could have actually gone for the kill together instead of one defusing and one actually just trying to defend him.
Watch the push. Watch the bit of a push here. They do go 2 toward B, but they get 3 players aggressively out to bathroom right now on the CT side. So change of pace again with these rifles up. Unfortunately, it's not necessarily going to head that direction because Strebber has already entered onto B. This leaves Teddy in the water. Teddy through the edge of the wood manages to take down mainline, but it's Silent to come back into him, and now the rotation comes over. So the stack was clever. It was a change-up. They tried to get aggressive at those bathrooms, which I mentioned was an issue.
That crossfire, though. You saw Silent there. They were like, Justin did his perfect bait from the bomb site, and he just comes out of the wall, peekaboo moment, takes down 2 of his own, and they're just getting absolutely schooled here. It was textbook play from Method, 13-0 now. And this is just ringing through what we saw in the first map, in the first series, right? 15-0. This is what I'm talking about. Look at this. Great teamwork from him. Perfect distraction. And that is actually really nice CS. That's how you should do it and how you should play as a team. That's what the CTs can maybe take a leaf out of their book and see what they can do with that. But there we go then, going into the 14th round now. 5 Famises. No utility really to speak up for the CTs. You can see them now going much more passive. They've kind of given up on the pushes.
So Ely's going to go in, spotting Gavin. But falls because he's a ruse. He's on his own. And if he goes down too soon while trying to fake, it'll become quite obvious because A's not ready to take. So he needs to stay efficient if he's going to play that game. Instead, Silent through the smoke. The flash that goes over spots up, as we can see, 3 players and blinds them all, but 0 able to still get the kill because the smoke didn't allow that blinding to really do much on the entry. Gavin trading as well on Ely, but again, that's your ruse. He's over at B for naught. It's just to get the A in position, and they've done that. So bomb down. And they're split. CT's entirely split as they come in for this retake. Gavin all by himself on 8 HP.
It's a round they have to go for, though, right at this stage. You haven't got kids 13-0 down. They need to try and find something here, but it looks like Gavin, like you said, 8 HP. He's just going to be looking for a consolation back at this stage. He does get it. Justin goes down. 2 players remaining for CTs now, but it seems like they're just almost fall over and die. It doesn't even seem like they're trying at this stage. 14-0 in favor of Method. And do you see any way out of this for DOISE? Is there any chance of getting back into this? This is crazy, right?
They might actually collect every weapon. No, not even. Can't even pick up that for their ego. It's Strebber to close it out. I mean, it is a long way back in here, obviously. And they try to go for exit kills that time and save up 2 guns and not even really attempt to go for it. And therefore, look at the situation there. And they do force up, but it's desperate. It's very desperate.
When you're on the CT side of Overpass and you're 14-0 down, I'm not really sure what you can say to get back into it. Even if you get this round, This is not their pick, right? This
I mean,
is Method's pick.
it's interesting because you said they were reading right. The rotations were on point, but they didn't have a whole lot of map presence out toward A, and they can't win these duels. They just haven't been winning the fights at all. And again, there, Justin jumps around the corner, checks left and right, and still has the time to land the shot.
Yeah, he's playing like an absolute monster. He's on 23 frags. He really is leading the charge for his team. Looking over the frags, the other guys, you can see Karuba, he's got 1 to 14, and this is going to be another simple, very fast push into the bomb side. You can see the CT's just falling over.
Bombs down, though.
Teddy makes 2 huge frags at a pistol. Could he do it? Can he be the hero and get them back into this? No, he cannot. He gets taken down. Strebel makes pretty light work of it, and we have another 15-0 tonight, Matthew.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, this bracket as it sits right now is I mean, it should just go. Tomorrow night could be very similar in the fact that we get through. Once we hit the next stage of this, though, with Method, 3-sup, Lunatic, I mean, it's going to be pretty straightforward. It's going to be sorry, I take that back. It's going to be less straightforward. It's going to be more to play for and a lot closer games. And again, there's only one team that goes through from these qualifiers, so Teddy's best efforts, not enough in the end. His teammates had already demised. And now we're going to see the pistol. Can we wrap it up 16-0? We didn't get that pleasure in the 3-sup game. So split, and look at this. Already they're going to put so much pressure out toward the fountains. 2 players out to scout really early. They'll get the information. They've already thrown the decoy for the initial peek with the flash. Justin able to do the damage, but the second player rotate back through bathrooms, and that does leave the stairs open. Fortunately, Ely's taking the invitation. That's a bit of a risk, too, because they called for that rotation based on the information they got at Fountain, but initially there was still players in that underpass. They went back to ladder to join in on the A-taking party, and there it is. The second one we see tonight. Silent closes out with the knife. How fitting is that?
Yeah, I think they deserve the knife at the end. Just the final stab
to close
in
the
back.
game, yeah, that's one thing. That's a little different.
Really twisted in there and get it nice and deep. So that was quite a cool round from the CTs. When you have so many to play with, you can kind of get away with anything. They pushed very aggressively onto short. As soon as they worked out, it was more towards the A side. They had players in middle, and then they rotated towards the stairs area as well. Pincered in the back. 2 fast frags made for them. So not really much to analyse from that. I think what we can take away from it, the frags weren't made from DOISE. They seemed to have the right idea with their rotations. They were getting, even when they were stacking 4 men onto bomb sites, and they got the right call there, they couldn't hold them off.
And the positions weren't there. Like we said, the crossfire wasn't established. They had 4 players in B, and all 4 players on the water side of B, inside of the bomb site. So they throw a smoke out. There's no one in window initially.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when you go for a B stack, you leave someone at least on the high ground. But the bigger thing is they don't have anyone out in front of Monster. Because when you're playing that Monster position, even if you get up close between the 2 choke points, you can control your peak. You can take your sandbags or your Monster position.
But you've got 4 people there. Get a guy at barrels. Get a guy towards Monster. Then they start the crazy and start the crossfire there.
Right.
Then you've got 2 guys on short as well. But they were just so passively and so just letting the T's come in. And at that point, they're on the offense. The CTs have to start pushing through the smokes, and they've got to defuse a bomb. So very difficult scenes. 16-0 is your first score. I can't actually remember what the second map is. What is the second map?
Second map that we go to again would be Inferno.
Oh, okay.
So we're basically playing in reverse of what we saw in the first series.
Wow.
So, yeah, and I mean, this is going to be – I think it's going to be a similar storyline, but we'll take a break. We'll get back there. Method looking good to wrap this up in 2.